Hey, yeah, what's up? This is Cypher Marcello Currents Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this message basically is going to be about my relationship with America and how it's going to go moving forward. How it's going to go moving forward is, I don't know if they think I'm playing cartoon games. I don't know if they think we're retarded. I don't know what they think, but, you can't play with the wrong people and then turn around and call them a president or a king. You can't, it's not going to work. I'm a prophet of God. You play games and you're not going to be able to capitalize out of this situation. You're not going to be able to cause this to become a profit like you've always done in war and how you've always done in situations where you have been losing. You're going to lose and you're not going to profit. Okay? You're not going to profit off the profit and you're not going to be a part of me. And you can deprive me of this. You can try to deprive me of that. It's not going to change my position. That's what it is, and that's how it is. See, the thing is what y'all don't know is they just now start calling me a president and king when I start winning. When I start winning, now all of a sudden I'm a president. All of a sudden I'm a president now because I'm winning. It doesn't work like that in the real world. That's what you're going to find out, the difference between the cultures, the difference between black culture and white culture. See, in white culture, you watch all these movies on TV where enemies become friends, where they join forces. You've been watching too many cartoons, man, and too many movies. Like Tupac said, you watching too many movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna work, bro. Once you've went too far, you went too far. There is no hope for you. You know what I'm saying? In our culture, in black culture, you already know that's a death sentence. Bottom line, I don't care about your culture. I care about my principles and where I come from. The good part, at least the good part. In the good part, you lose. In the good part of the principles and customs, you die. Okay? Man, listen. In African culture, they dead. Okay? It ain't nothing else to negotiate and talk about. I don't care about your emotions. I don't care about your feelings. I can show you in the Bible where God tells his servants to put people to death. That's the Bible. You have Americanized Christianity. You have Americanized perspective. I don't care about your Americanized Christianity. I don't care about your Americanized perspective. And like I said, I don't care what you do for me. Everything you do for us is spoils of war. Everything that you do for me is spoils of war. Okay? So it's not going to change my position. Whatever you do is not going to change my attitude. Whatever you do is not going to change how I feel. Okay? So you can try to utilize the situation and try to capitalize like the billionaire fat cats, and you're going to be poisoned and destroyed. Okay? That's all that's going to happen. You can't insult my intelligence. Okay? You're not going to profit off of this situation. And you think you may have profit, but look at your community. Look at your culture. Look at your country. Need I say more? So anything you thought you profited off of this situation, you took 10 steps back. Look at your country. Look at COVID-19 on you. You took 20, 10, and 30 steps back, buddy. Okay? Nobody's playing any games. I am a legitimate enemy of America, which means I can justify all my reasons for being the enemy. Okay? I'm not a villain just because I'm an enemy. Okay? That's what they try to do, is demonize you like they're holy. If they're so holy, why they marrying children in 44 states? If they're so holy, why they got child marriage in America? If they're so holy, why they got gay marriage in all 50 states? That's for all the Christians that are fanatics of America. Yeah, many of you Christians are fanatics of America, and I'm not a fan of America. I'm not a fanatic of America. And I know you think I'm playing. You think I'm some troubled little guy that just needs a hug. Yeah, I need more than a hug, buddy. I need my money. And I think you think I'm playing. Listen, man, it's people like me are willing to die for this. You understand? That means we ain't gonna never change our position. You got 44 states with child marriage. You got child marriage in your country while you playing Super Mario games. There go Mario. You hear him, y'all? Hear the beeping? That's a sound campaign. People who know about gang stalking know what I'm talking about. That's a sound campaign. That's Super Mario, guys. Listen. You can get as close as you want, but if you ever jump, God is going to destroy you and in this country. Just remember that, little buddy. You think you're close, but if you ever jump my way, you swing my way, buddy, God's going to destroy the whole country. I'm not playing any games with you. This is where we at. This is how I get up in the morning. We are enemies. Okay? This ain't no war game or anything you try to reduce it down to. See, what you got to understand, the audience got to understand is they've been playing games for years with me. I don't know about you. I don't know what they've been doing with you. I don't know when they started with you. I know when they started with me. And they've been playing games for years, and we finally got them with COVID-19, and now all of y'all want to have some kind of reconciliation. Now you want me on your side after you done played with me for years. See, it would have been different if you had played with me for a couple months. Maybe it would have been a change of heart, but not years, bro. It's not reasonable for you to think that I would be on your side after years of you playing games with me. It's not reasonable. It's not logical, some would say. Okay, so while you think I'm so unforgiving, won't you tell the people how long you've been playing games with me? Won't you tell the people how long you've been playing games? Yeah, listen. This is how I supposed to sound after years of you playing games. This is exactly how I supposed to sound. You thought you could push Christians around, and you thought your American white entitlement or your American entitlement could get you to defeat me, and it didn't work. Now you're trying to capitalize off the situation by calling me your friend and president. You know we are enemies. You know this, I know this. You just couldn't win. And you might be using the little motto or the cliche to say, if you can't beat them, join them. You can't beat me and you can't join me. You got that part? You can't beat me and you can't join me. See, what Christians haven't told you is, okay, there's some places you can get where God is going to bring judgment on you. I don't care what you talk about repenting and verbally repenting. I can show you, it's a place in the Bible, and we know this, where a servant of God tried to find repentance with many tears, it says. Look it up, Google it. With many tears, they sought forgiveness. He sought forgiveness. I think it was Jacob. It may have been Jacob. Between Jacob or Esau. But between Jacob and Esau, one of them sought for repentance with many tears, it says, but could not find repentance. Because, see, in American culture, you're taught, all you got to do is repent. All you got to do is confess. Sometimes, you can't play God. Do you think you're going to be able to get away with all the stuff you do just by verbally repenting? You think you could play with God in that form of fashion, and you think you can verbally repent, and it would just all magically go away what God is going to do? See, you've been taught magical. That's a magical principle right there. If you know you've been doing all this evil, and you know you've been doing all this wrong, and you think God's just going to let you just come and it all goes away. What kind of God would that be? to let you do all you want to do, and then you have the luxury of just saying, well, God, forgive me. God, forgive us. He will forgive us. This is American Christianity, what you've been taught. God, you can't play God, buddy. One thing we can agree with, you cannot deceive God. So if you think you're going to do all of this and then you're going to repent and it's just going to go away, you have been taught that by your parents. You've been taught that by your American community, and none of it is working. That's not going to work. You're going to pay just like everyone else does for what they do. And I guarantee you that. I can guarantee that because I know my God. And if you have played with somebody for years and years, and then you wait after years and years, and now God shows up and defeats you, and now you want to turn on our side and say, I'm a president or a king in your community. It doesn't work like that, buddy. You played games too long. You played games too long, and now it's time for judgment. You know, I had to tell you like a child. You played games too long, and now it's time for judgment. You ain't going to get, I promise you, you would not be able to get the luxury of just asking God to forgive you, and then it's all over. I promise you that, because you went about doing things your way for too long. And then when you seen I won through Christ Jesus, when his kingdom showed up and pulled up and rolled on you and slid on you, now you want to talk about I'm a king and president. Buddy, it don't work like that. And anybody jump in this building or in this neighborhood or in this city or in this country, anybody jump in this whole country is going to be defeated. That's who I am. Just in case you didn't know my rank and level, anybody jumps in this whole country is defeated. Okay? Every time I'm even touched or played with, you see repercussions. Every single time. There's no games being played. Okay? You're playing games. That's what's wrong with your country now. Your culture has been filled with too many video games and too many movies and foolishness. And now you walk around like a cartoon. Yeah. You walk around like a darn cartoon almost. Bust your head open and beef confetti probably will come out. Hey, bust your head open and confetti probably will come out. We're not playing any games, bro. It ain't nothing. Listen, and for you, all you people that the only thing you can try to do is a couple things. You either try to take it to some street level, which is beneath us. We got them on technicalities. They already against God anyway. Well, how you in the streets and you on God's side? Okay, so we already got y'all on technicalities too. Yeah, you in sin. You selling drugs, you packing guns, illegal stuff, you're doing illegal. We got you on technicalities. We can take you away by technicalities. And God's going to already hold you to the technicality that you already got. I'm going to hold you as a prophet to the technicalities that you already got. You already got technicalities. Okay, you ain't in good standing with God. Okay, let's first get that understood. So anybody try to take it there, we already got them, and that puts their family in danger because we're going to enforce all technicalities. Okay, when you play with them out there in the streets, they can't enforce any technicalities. They in sin too. They're doing wrong too. I, as a prophet, can enforce technicalities on street people. Yeah, this is the real spiritual war. I can enforce technicalities on street people. On any thug life, gangsters, or any that little thug life stuff y'all got going. I got straight up technicalities off the rip. If you slipping in any way spiritually, those technicalities, we call you on that. Bottom line. And you lose already without any war going on. All right? Secondly, police, military. First of all, you illegal. We got you already. Any dirty cops, any dirty military, we got you already. You shouldn't even be here. You breaking my constitutional rights. We got you on that. Yeah, you breaking constitutional rights, brother. You breaking constitutional rights. You have no legal reason to be here because there are no tangible operations. I can feel the way I feel. I have freedom of speech. I can feel any way I want to feel. You can't change how I feel. You ain't my father. You ain't my mother. I can feel any way I want to feel. As long as you have not heard any tangible operations, you are illegal. That's for police and military. And last but not least of the enemies, the government. First of all, you got 44 states with child marriage, buddy. I'm hitting the ground running, Al. You got 44 states with child marriage. You already got legality. You already got liabilities that you got you on. We already got liabilities that we got you on. You got 44 states with child marriage. You got the age of consent under 18 in 40 states. You got gay marriage. God is not with you. Okay? God is not with a country that has gay marriage laws. Russia doesn't have gay marriage laws. You can't act like it's everybody. It's you. Okay? Wake up. In 2023, it's not everybody that's got gay marriage. It's you. You have gay marriage. Russia does not have gay marriage in 2023. It's you, America. Why you think everybody's doing what you're doing? For all you Americans think that everybody's doing it in the world. Russia's not doing it. Russia does not have gay marriage at all. Russia doesn't have child marriage. Russia does not have child marriage at all. Why they act like everybody's doing it? Like teenagers, like in the 90s. Everybody's doing it. Well, every country doesn't have gay marriage. Okay? Wake up call. Every country does not have child marriage. Wake up call. You just passed your last child marriage law 3 years ago. Wake up call. Why you think it's not relevant? How is it not relevant when they passed the last child marriage law 3 years ago? We don't care what the technicalities and details are. They're passing child marriage laws. That's what we talking about. Less than 3 years ago. That's what we talking about. We ain't talking about nothing else what you talk about. We don't care what you thinking about. Child marriage laws been passed 3 years ago. That's what we talking about. And I would be a fool not to hold my enemy on the technicalities. Yeah, we're not letting it go. After you play games in your community, your citizens, you can say, well, it was our citizens. Well, hey, you take care of everybody else. You took care of the Black Panthers. Ooh. Yeah, you took care of the Black Panthers. You took care of the NFAC black militia. You locked up the leader, Jam Master Jay. You locked him up. If you notice, anytime it's organized anything with black people, whether it's organized crime, organized militia, anything that moves when it comes to black people, it gets taken care of, don't it? They find some way to do it, don't they? But see, when it comes to white culture gang stalking and little white boy secret societies, I don't care how many black people in it, it's still white boy stuff. And you know I'm not racist, you know what I mean? It's cornball white boy stuff. It's white boy humor stuff. Where he think it's funny. Like some Jackass movies or something. The movie called Jackass, like they think it's that. How funny is it when your whole community got COVID more than anybody else in the whole world? How funny is it now? Ain't nobody playing with you. And that's why Christians, you need to understand the format and the definition of what's going on here. You're trying to pray something off them that God put on them. You're trying to fast something off of them that God put on them. That's why it's not leaving. Okay, well, why all your prayers didn't work then? Why you got all these little testimonies, but tell the truth about it. Why it ain't gone then? You talking about scattered testimonies. I'm talking about why it ain't gone. You know why it ain't gone? Because God sent it. That's why. And you can't come to terms and you can't believe it. You can't believe it. You can't believe it. You can't believe it. Yeah, God did it. The first thing one of the governor, I think it was the governor of New York, when COVID was out, Cuomo, whatever his name is, Cuomo, Governor Cuomo or Mayor Cuomo, wherever he is, a governor or mayor, one of the first things he said, Check this out. Oh, this is not from God. Bruh, you're not a preacher. You're not a spiritual advisor. Why are you getting up over the country when you have influence over the people? You have nationwide, you had national influence. That's probably why he's put out of his position. That's why he's put out of his position. Listen, it probably is. I'm not saying definitely, but maybe it is. Because you don't put your mouth on God, on spiritual things, and you don't really know. This is serious. I know God is a cliche to you. God is a cartoon to you. God is real to us. You don't go in front of the whole community like you did when COVID-19 first came out. You talking about, oh, this is not from God. How do you know? Won't you stick to the politics, man? Won't you stick to the politics? How do you know it's not from God? When did you become a prophet of God? When did you become a spiritual advisor to the community? When did you become a spiritual counselor over New York? And you know why he said that? Because that was on his mind. Nobody wasn't raving about it saying it was from God. Did anybody in New York talk about it was from God? To the point where he felt like he needed to say something? Huh? Was everybody talking about it here in New York that this is from God to the point where he felt he needed to address it as an issue? He didn't need to address that as an issue. He did not need to bring God up as to speak for what God does. But that's what he did. I want to find the art. I want to find the press conference, because it was when he was doing all those press conferences and everybody around the country was watching, because he was the only one around the country that's was taking these long, lengthy press conferences. So everybody around the country was watching them. You know which ones I'm talking about, when he was doing all that long-winded talking about how they going to handle COVID and New York doing their own thing as far as coming up with solutions and all of that. That's when he said that, during that time. Talking about, oh, it's not from God. How he know it ain't from God? That man ain't a man of God. He may be a Christian by belief, but look what happened to him. Look what happened to him, though. That's what I'm saying. The same man that's talking about it ain't from God, look how he ended. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. You got people talking on the behalf of God, and look how their life turned out. He had no business talking about what is from God and not from God. You don't go in front of the country doing nothing like that. And you preachers better beware of that too. You sitting up talking about God is on America's side. You giving false prophecies about America. You better be careful. You better pay attention. Because one thing we know for sure is sin is above any little gift you got. And when I say that, you can prophesy, you can pray, you can fast, but if this country has gay marriage in 50 states, you are becoming a false prophet. You are becoming a false prophet because you are now prophesying out the flesh. You are speaking out of your flesh nature and out of your human desires for a country that you love, not that God loves, a country that you love. Now you're starting to prophesy out of the flesh. When you see they got 50 states with gay marriage, okay, so so God is giving prophecy blessings while you have 50 states of gay marriage. Make it make sense, bro. It's been a shift. That's what I'm trying to show you. This is what real prophets do. They don't just prophesy blessings. They show you where you are in sin. That's what the prophet do. That's what he did to the King David. He came to King David. The prophet came to King David. Prophet Nathan, I think, came to King David because King David had slept with, had killed Uzziah, a man, put him on the front lines of war so that he could be killed for Bathsheba. Now, David watched Bathsheba grow up. And she got married, and David killed that man on purpose. prophet Nathan came to David and gave him an analogy about a man having a sheep. I believe it was a sheep, but basically having something in his possession, only one thing in his possession, and then someone else coming along and taking it. And David said, who is this person? We'll handle it. And the prophet revealed that it's you. It's you that has taken. That's what the prophet does. He comes to show you what sin you have done. See, you thought it was all about the future and also talking about, see, mainstream America, you think it's about, talking about the future. The black community think a prophet is some righteous Messiah that can do no wrong and is this righteous Messiah that is coming to save everybody. That's what they think a prophet is. I'm a prophet, but I'm not necessarily coming to save you. I'm not coming to necessarily save you if you are not right with God. I'm not coming to save you because God ain't coming to save you. Why are you coming to save you and you got 50 states with gay marriage? I know you allowed America to condition you to love the gay community and accept all these gay laws. You can love the gay community, but you cannot agree because you love humanity, but you cannot love the sin of gay marriage. That's where we draw the line as Christians. And we have to tell you the truth is if you have those laws, you are in sin as a country. You are in constant sin. It's not like the 1960s when you had prayer in school. Yeah, you took prayer out of school, and now look what they're doing in the schools. Shooting the schools up. You've been done with God. Won't you tell the truth, America? You've been done with God. You've been done with God when you took prayer out of school. That's when people would say that's when you really started being done with God. But I can be more relevant. I can be more relevant. Although most people say that's when it happened. And listen, you ain't been no good since, if you really think about it. Since you took prayer out of school, your country has not been nothing. It's been declining and declining decade after decade. From the crack cocaine to the drug dealing to all the killing, the mass shootings at schools, it has not gotten better since you took prayer out of school. So as most people say, that's when it ended right there. But I can be relevant. I can be relevant. I can give you some relevant reasons. You got 44 states with child marriage. That's a relevant reason. Oh, you don't think God is smart enough to know that you're really been a pedophile? You don't think God is smart enough to know that it's really not that you don't know what age that is appropriate for an adult to be with a child? It's not that. It's the fact that you're a pedophile. That's what it is. Ow, that's a 7. Boom. That's what it really is. And you don't think God know the difference? You don't think God know the difference between you having pedophile tendencies and having sex with children? Then, we just don't really know what's the appropriate age. So that's really the problem. That's not really the problem. The real problem is you're pedophiles. I can prove it to you. You got the world record for the lowest age of consent in worldwide modern record keeping history. In the state of Delaware in 1880, you had the age of consent at 7 years old, and the rest of the country at that time in 1880 had the age of consent at either 12 years old or 11 years old. You have the world record. So it's not that you can't really choose what age is appropriate because you have chosen the lowest age. Makes sense? Makes sense? You've chosen the lowest age, so you went low as everybody went in the whole world. There's nobody with you, America. You have the world record. And I know you want to act like it's irrelevant information, but it's an indication that you're really a pedophile. Listen, You also have the age of consent under 18 in 40 states. You've never had in the 50 states of America the age of consent at 18. Never. You've never had it. You've never been right, in other words. From the time that you started back in, you never got it right. From the times of having the age of consent at 7 years old, you never became better. Yeah, this ain't a matter of sitting up drinking your coffee. Well, yeah, he's right. It's judgment time. You passed the last child marriage law 3 years ago that says any age of children. That's not, well, I can't figure out what age is right. You got any age now. That's pedophilia, buddy. That's pedophilia. That's all it is. And you want to sit up and talk about, well, we don't know. You acting like, see, I'm gonna do a video about this. You acting like America really don't know what age is appropriate. That's what you acting like. You acting like America really just don't know what to do about what age is right. Well, how come California got the age of consent at 18? They got it right. How come Florida got the age of consent at 18? They understand what's right. How come they understand it and you don't? That's the seventh hour. How come Florida understands that the age of consent needs to be at 18, but you don't understand it? How come your military don't understand it when they got the age of consent at 16 years old? So you're telling yourself because some people understand it. Now, if everybody didn't understand it, then you could camouflage the pedophilia. But you can't camouflage the pedophilia when some people understand. You can't camouflage it. You're sticking out. You're sticking out when Florida has the age of consent at 18. You're sticking out when California has the age of consent at 18 all these years. So if they understand it, why you can't understand it? Why can you not understand it if they can? And you think you're going to just sit back and look at me and stare at me while you're drinking your coffee like you got some kind of vendetta against me? You can die today. When you already slipping and you got liabilities and you marrying children, you can die today if you got some problem. You won't smoke, you can die today. Because you already got liabilities and you act like you got a problem. You can die today. That's how the man of God tell you you gonna want a problem. You can die today. It's already bad enough. Listen, most people want you dead today. Most people want you dead today. Okay, and if you want smoke, then it's a perfect opportunity for you to die today. You up here got 44 states with child marriage and you looking at me. What you looking at? That's what I wonder. What you looking at? What are you looking at when you got child marriage? Like you can just ignore that. Yeah, in a perfect world you could. In a perfect world you could ignore this. But not when you've been playing games. And we know you've been playing games. I know you've been playing games. Other people might not know, but I do. You need to worry about what I know. Yeah, don't worry about them. You need to worry about what I know. Because I can get this done without all of them. Listen, I can get this done without any of these people out there. I don't need them to get this done. I'm a prophet of God. I stand on my own. I don't need none of them. Have I needed them thus far? Have I really needed any of these people now? I mean, in the past. All these years they've been playing games with me. Have any of these people showed up to my rescue? And I thank God, I thank God for good Christians that have prayed me through and that I was able to give to in ministry. I thank you. All right. Ultimately, though, I stood physically on my own. I walked through this whole country when they was playing games from coast to coast in California, gang stalking me in California, gang stalking me in Florida, gang stalking me in North Carolina, and gang stalking me here in New York. That's 4 different cities, 4 different states. They were gang stalking me, and nobody was here. And that's why I'm not playing any games when it comes to me. I'm not playing any games when people talk about president. I'm not playing any games when you acting like you on my side. Listen, we can go to war today and it don't even matter. It does not matter. Okay? And that's what you need. That's why I'm getting that goofiness off of you. See, your weakness is, America, y'all goofy. You goofy and you're full of games. Even when you're in war, look at them. Look at them even in war. In war, they're even goofy in warfare. I'm not playing. This is gruesome. This is gruesome. This is gruesome lane over here. It's getting gruesome. That's their weakness. They're full of games. They're full of foolishness. And they're emotional to where they can't keep a straight face with their enemies. I can keep a straight face with my enemies. Listen. You got to go find savages to compete with me. Your whole community, man, they can't even keep a straight face when it comes to this. I can keep a straight face. When you got child marriage, I definitely can keep a straight face. That's why everybody's on my side, but I don't need you on my side. You know what I need you to do? I need you to get out of my way. I need you to stop making it seem like they got some kind of game going on. See, you part of the problem too, because you hyping it up. That's what we say in the black community. You hyping it up. You're instigating it. Even if you think you're on my side, you need to go somewhere and go away. You know why you need to go away? Because you're instigating it. You're making it more than what it is. Ain't nothing to this when they got 44 states with child marriage. What is it to it? What they got to do? What you think they can do? When they got 44 states with child marriage, what you think they can do? Yeah, I live in the real world. What do you think they can do? It's foolishness. That's what I'm trying to show you. Ain't nothing they can do. We won this. And it's over. Now, if you want to sit here and be on the side of them when I'm telling you they lost, which means you need to go home, you're going to become the enemy too, because you're keeping them going. You're not keeping me going. I'm going regardless. I've been going regardless. I didn't need your help to go on. I didn't need you to help me to go on. I didn't need cheerleaders. So you being here is all about you being a fanatic or a fame whore, a fame slut. That's what I'm going to call it, a fame slut. That's what you are. Because you just like any other American. You're here to gravitate to something bigger than yourself. You're here to gravitate to something that's more bigger than you. And you're becoming my enemy. Because I told you, I don't need you here. All you doing is hyping it up and making it more than what it is. All you doing is keeping the enemy going when they need to see that you walk away because they lost. All you doing staying here is keeping them going. And so you think you're helping. How you helping me? I've been on my own for years. You ain't helping me. You flattering yourself. If they jump, God destroys everything, which means I don't need your protection. I don't need you to be here. You're trying to affiliate yourself. You're a wannabe. You ain't doing what I do. You're trying to affiliate yourself to my brand, per se, because you're a wannabe. You want to be like me. You ain't like me because you don't do what I do. Okay? You ride around like Star Wars and Luke Skywalker thinking you on my side. Man, come on, that ain't got nothing done. I'm getting it done right here, right now, by myself. I don't need nobody riding around like Luke Skywalker. That ain't nothing but white boy culture too. This ain't Star Wars. This is not Star Wars. I can use analogies of Star Wars, using Star Wars, but this is not Star Wars. And you riding around like you Luke Skywalker riding around and sliding around and driving around. Just a big cornball. But what you actually getting done, man? That's what should make you feel like an idiot. What are you actually getting done? You're getting nothing done. All you're doing is driving around, instigating the enemy who's been defeated. The more you drive around and entangle yourself with them, they're going to think it's an ongoing war. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to show you. You need to just go away. You're becoming part of the problem because you're instigating the enemy. That's what you're doing. You think you're in the war with me. You're not in the war with me. It's already been declared over 3 years ago. Yeah, you need to hear from the horse's mouth. The person that you think you're affiliated with, the person that you're calling a king or a president, let me talk and tell you what's going on. Let me tell you what's going on. I won this war 3 years ago. I don't care what they tell you. That explains why they're riding around like rabid animals, because they already lost and they're sore losers. Explain any other way why they're so passionate about someone who hasn't attacked them. Think about it. What motivates them that deeply? If they just met me, if they just encountered me, then why are they riding around that passionately? Because they already been defeated. That's why. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what motivating them. It ain't that I've done something so wrong. It's been that they've been defeated. Yeah, that's what it is. You're thinking their passionate ambition, if you will, is why they're riding because I did something wrong. You think it's because I did something wrong. Nah, it's because they've been defeated time after time again. From state to state, I've defeated this secret society. I defeated the Freemason police. I've defeated the secret societies, the Illuminati. I've defeated all those little secret societies and disgruntled black people. I've defeated them too. Black people that wanted smoke, I defeated them too. And that's why they all clicked up together riding around like that, because I defeated them year after year. Now it makes sense. Because how can you otherwise identify that energy? What motivates that? Why would they just find me and just all of a sudden be like that? That doesn't happen like that. That happens when someone, in this case, when someone has been defeated time and time again. That's all it is. I've defeated chapter after chapter of their defeated little group. Okay? That's all it is. And that's why I'm telling you, you need to understand the real timeline and stop listening to these suckers. They've been defeated time and time again, and this explains why they're riding around. They're trying to save face. This is what they're doing. They're trying to save face, and they can't save face. How you gonna save face when you got COVID-19 because of this? We won. And I was declared victor over this secret society in Sacramento, Sacramento, California in October in 2019. I was declared victor by ex-military, not by street punks, by ex-military that's able to gauge and see things properly. Boom. Yeah, I've been won this. That's what I'm trying to show you. You're listening to fanatics, and you're listening to sore losers, and you're listening to people that's trying to save face. They start calling it a contest. Hear this part. They start calling it a contest at the end of 2020 after they got COVID. Now they want to call it a contest. Boom. When I was in Fort Lauderdale in Florida around December in 2020, that's when they started calling it a contest, because they knew I was coming to New York, and the cornballs that they are, they wanted to hype it up in New York City. New York don't mean nothing to me anymore. I've been here off and on 10 years. I've lived in Brooklyn, Harlem, and in Staten Island. I've lived all over of New York. New York don't mean what it means to me. New York doesn't mean what it means to these cornballs. What it means to these cornballs, it doesn't mean that to me. I lived all throughout New York. I lived in Harlem. I lived in East New York. I lived in Brooklyn. It doesn't mean to me what it means to them. It's home to me. It's just a neighborhood to me. They came here. These cornballs came here talking about it's a contest. They brought that to New York, that perspective to New York. Before that, year after year of the same stuff that they're doing now. They've been doing the same thing year after year. They wasn't calling it a contest. They only called it that because they knew I was coming to New York, and they tried to hype it up and make it this big glitzy little situation when they already lost anyway. So they try to revise it and try to bring it all back. That's what I'm trying to show you. They had already been defeated, and you fell for it. And they hyped it all back up to you because you hadn't seen it. They already was defeated like they are now. Now you see the defeat that they got here now? That has happened in every other state. Boom. Just like they defeated right now, like they're ready to die right now. They was like that in every other place. We did them like that in every other place. And they still can't believe it because this is the kingdom of God. I try to tell those dummies. You ain't playing with no street punk. You're not playing with some politician. You're playing with the kingdom of God. And now you know it's real and it's too late for you. Can we all agree that they just running around and going through the motions now? They just going through the motions, man. They going through the motions. What, they think they're wearing me down? I'm not moving. They might can play with my loved ones, but I'm unmoved. I'm unmoved. You might listen. Everybody around me may be a little bit lower than me. And I don't want them to be hurt or harmed, but you can't move me though. Everything you've done to me has come back on you. You gave me a virus. We gave you COVID-19. I had to bear that. My case of having a virus is not like the next man's. My case is I took stripes. I took stripes for the kingdom of God so that y'all all could get COVID-19. Boom. Ow. That's a 7. Oh, yeah. You thought it was just another pitiful case, didn't you? It ain't pitiful to me when you got COVID-19. Yeah, this the real politics. They've been telling you all that goofy stuff. They probably been telling you a million goofy stories. This is the real politics. They put it on me, and y'all got COVID-19 because of that. Well, I was diagnosed with a virus, and 4 months later, you got COVID. Seems close enough to me, right? That's close enough, right? Okay, 4 months later, technically 3 months later, I was diagnosed October 2019. November, December, January. 3 months later, the White House knew about COVID-19. Boom, ow. 3 months later, after I was diagnosed, y'all got COVID-19? You telling me 90 days, within 90 days of having COVID, not even 100 days, within 90 days, y'all had COVID-19? You think I'm playing? Do you think God is playing about me? So when you put that on me, 3 months, not even 100 days later, y'all had COVID-19. You telling me I ain't a prophet? Hear me again. October 2019, I was diagnosed with a virus, right? Less than 100 days later, y'all had COVID-19. God does not play any games, bro. Yeah, so I took those stripes as part of my army. I took that so I could give it to you, so y'all can get all y'all got. Yeah, it was worth it, and I'd do it again if I had to. I would do it again. I would take it again, just so you can get humiliated and destroyed as a community. See, what they didn't tell you is why because see, this is what people say, well, it's not everybody. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. How is it ever going to be everybody? Explain to me how is it literally going to be everybody? So it's not going to be everybody. So what do we wait for before we smash on the enemy? What do we do? How long do we wait when we know it ain't going to be everybody? We wait until it's enough people that has involved themselves. And it has been enough for everybody to get smashed on. That's how that works, man. What you think it's going to be literally everybody? You can only speak for yourself anyway. At the end of the day, you don't know what these people doing. You don't know how they involved. They're not all involved the same way. So you can only speak for you. But I can assure you, coast to coast, from California to Florida to New York, they have been involved, and that's enough. That's enough, people. Coast to coast, that's enough. That's enough right there. Right or wrong, right or wrong. Without being biased, ain't that enough? Coast to coast, from California to New York, that's not enough for God to smash on the country. That's what I'm saying, bro. Because you'll sit up and say, oh, well, it ain't everybody. Why everybody got to suffer? Because too many people got involved. That's why. Because too many people got involved and your country sat back and act like it was a game and they thought it was fun and humorous and cute until they got smashed on. Now they talking about everybody ain't had nothing to do with it. Just like a typical American, man. How much more American can you be? I guess you're all American, ain't you? As soon as you start getting smashed on, oh, it wasn't everybody. I don't know why this is happening to all of us. Oh, you didn't see all this whole carnival going on? You didn't see all this whole carnival going on? That's been going on from coast to coast, California to Florida to North Carolina to all these places. That's enough, man. That's enough for everybody to get smashed on. You just are in denial. Let's be 100. You just in denial about it all. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because if it was you, you would want them smashed on too. Yeah, let's keep it 100. If you had been going through this from coast to coast, from California to Florida to North Carolina to New York, you want them smashed on too. Yeah, it ain't happening to you. And just like a typical American, you don't have compassion. You're not able to, you don't have empathy or apathy. You lack empathy and apathy and compassion. So you're not able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So it's easy for you to sit back and act like, well, well, what? If it was you, you would have been acted out. I've handled myself quite gracefully, I think, considering the circumstances. I've handled myself quite gracefully. Because some people would have just said, I don't care. If you think this, I'm going to go out there and do it. Might as well. If you think I'm a pedophile, some people would say, I'm going to go out there and do it then. You already done told everybody act like I'm doing it. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it worth something. I'm going to use it. I'm going to utilize it then. If you already try to characterize me as a pedophile, shoot, I might as well go ahead and do it. That's what some people think. And I've handled myself quite gracefully considering those circumstances. Yeah, your little dumb little community has been unharmed. You spoiled. You're spoiled. You know, most people would have been smashed on one of y'all. Yeah, you walk around here spoiled now, thinking you can play with me. Yeah, I'm glad I got my enemy spoiled. Yeah, let's spoil the enemy. Let them think it's all good. You know, they ride around, eating good, thinking it's good, playing games. Yeah, you spoiled. Until you get smashed on again. Until we smash on you again. Yeah. Until something worse than COVID-19 comes. Yeah, something's worse than COVID is coming. Listen, man, God can go tit for tat how many times you want to do it. Because you think, oh, that's enough. Not when they still playing games. Hey, it ain't enough as long as they still playing games. As long as they still playing games, it ain't enough. It ain't enough till they stop playing games. Hey, listen, we can go as long as they want to play games. As long as they want to think it's a game. You better tell them 20-somethings and 30-somethings, them people in their 20s, man, they can die young, man. You better tell them. Yeah, you better tell them because I don't care. I have no remorse when it comes to people that play games like that. I don't have no remorse for them. You better tell them, I don't care how young you are. You can die young, sucker. It happens all the time anyway. It happens all the time anyway. It's people that's dying in their 20s and 30s right now as we speak. It don't mean nothing for you to go with them. Yeah, you ain't invincible after all, buddy. Look at your country. You can't think you're invincible. Yeah, it's all in your head. See, we spiritual, which is a type of invincibility. Yeah, it is. I know you've been dealing with preachers. I'm talking about a prophet. I'm talking about somebody who's, according to your community, out of this world. You ain't doing what I'm doing. You fasting for 7 days. Have you ever went on a fast and didn't eat nothing for a whole week? I'm talking about nothing. I'm talking about no crackers, no snacks, 7 days of nothing. You ever did that? You ain't never did it, have you? You can't even see me, man. Come on, man. Stop playing. That separates me from half of your community already. I'm pretty sure half of these Americans have never went on a 7-day fast. I'm pretty sure half of the whole American country has never went on a 7-day fast. I'm pretty sure. So that separates me already from half of your community. Half of it. 50% of these people you call Americans, I'm pretty sure that 50% of them have not went on a 7-day fast. I'm pretty sure 50% of them have not done any type of 40-day fast. I've done over 7 40-day fasts. I'm pretty sure they've done no fasting on 40 days. Why you think you somewhere in my lane? 50% of you are nowhere near me. Now you see where we at. Now you see why you're getting smashed on. Because you got Christian people, church folks. No, I am a Christian, but you know what I'm talking about. You got church folks. That's what your reference point is when it comes to me. That's the 7th hour. Hey, your reference points is church people. And that's why you're losing. I'm not a church person. I'm not a church guy. Okay? You're getting smashed on. It ain't nothing nobody can do about it because you deserve all of it. That's what's so good about God. Why, when he starts smashing on people, you can't say they don't deserve it. That's why he waits. And then when he smash, you can't say, oh, well, I don't think that was right. You can't say that, can you? In your heart of hearts, you know they deserve it. You know they deserve it. And they know they deserve it. And so guess what? It's all just in the eyes of God. I don't care what judges, police, military, they humans just like everybody else. See, that's what the man of God knows. You intimidated because you've been in crime all your life. You lower your head in front of these authorities because you've been in crime all your life. When you come out of crime, you start realizing they ain't no better than you. When you come out of crime, you start to realize these authorities are no better than you. See, crime is also psychological like that. Long as you in crime, you got to put your head down above the white man. You got to put your head down above these white people with these guns because you know you ain't doing right. So even if you don't get caught, you have to submit. It's a certain type of subtle submission that you got to do because you've been living in crime all your life, and that's a psychological captivity right there too. Yeah, as long as you in crime, you a slave. You under these white men. You running from them. You running from them. Okay? It ain't no different than slavery and all of that. It's a cat and mouse situation. Boom. You think I was in a cat and mouse situation? Your whole country's in a cat and mouse situation. As long as you in crime and you in the crime underworld, it's a cat and mouse situation with you. You got that part? I hope you do. Because, see, I can look him face to face now, and I ain't got no crime in my life. I can look him right face to face. He ain't no better than me. He ain't no better than me. And see, you ain't never come to that point because you was in crime. Or you hold to the no snitching policy. You part of the conspiracies. So you can't look him in his face. I can look him in his face. They be looking at me strange when I look at him. Like, what are he looking at? I'm looking at you. You ain't nothing. You're a human just like me. And as long as I ain't doing no crimes, you look what you want to do. What you got to say to me? You ain't got nothing to say to me. I look at you just like what? You got a problem? I ain't got no crimes. Do you have a problem, sir? Yeah, you don't run me. You run these criminals. You out here for the criminals. You ain't out here for me. Yeah, let's understand that. Police. If I'm not breaking no crimes, you listen, you are nobody to me. You are nobody. I am not intimidated by you when I know I ain't doing nothing wrong. Why should I be intimidated by you? See, that's the psychological part. That's the psychological part in America. Yeah, I'm addressing it. Listen, if I ain't doing nothing wrong, I'm looking at you like you looking at me. I'm looking at you like you looking at me. Yeah, you don't run me. And so you so used to running people because it's a racist psychological system. You so used to running black people. When you find somebody that you can't run and you can't really lock up, you don't know what to do with yourself, do you? So guess what you do? They start gang stalking. Boom. Because you could never find nothing on me. You still can't find nothing on me. What you got? So why am I not locked up? Why can't I just walk away? I can go anywhere I want to go. Because at the end of the day, you might think how you got me locked up when I can just walk away and never come back. You ain't got me locked up, buddy. It's all in your mind when I'm winning this war. It's all in your mind when the NYPD been caught messing with a 15-year-old girl. Let's talk about it. Right here in New York, none of you New Yorkers even protest the fact that the 2 NYPD officers was having sexual acts with a 15-year-old girl right here in New York, baby. Right here in New York City. Didn't hear anything from the community, did we? All these neighborhood watch suckers. We ain't hear nothing from you, did we? You a sucker. You can't even hold your authorities to the same standard that you hold the community to. The community come out here and do something with a 15-year-old girl, you would never live it down. Police do it. We don't hear nothing from you, neighborhood watch suckers. We don't hear nothing from you, do we? Let somebody in the neighborhood mess with a 15-year-old girl, you won't let them live it down. Police do it. We hear nothing from the whole community. Not even the police. The police should have bowed the knee for that. And at least to say we ain't a part of that. We ain't hear nothing from them either. And the information came out about the case where the NYPD officers was messing with the 15-year-old girl. That came out in 2021. Didn't hear nothing in 2021 from your community, did you? Didn't hear anything, did you? That's what I'm saying. And that's why I don't take you seriously. Because I can show you the pedophiles in full color. In color TV, I can show you the pedophiles. And you say nothing. And that's why, and listen, that's why you're getting smashed on. Because you didn't confront the real pedophiles, and then you play with other people. And so God looked at that and seen that you didn't check the real pedophiles, and you got a liability. Hey, you can't go and play and pick styles of pedophiles, which ones you want to play with. If you dig into this situation and you act like you're about this life, just like the gangster life, if you act like you're about this life and you ain't, you get smashed on. And that's what happened to you. You sit up here and act like you was about this life of protecting children. Yeah, look at them. Look at it for what it is. And it really wasn't about that life. Police included. You got 44 states with child marriage. How come you still working for the government? Hey, you need to find another way to provide money for your kids. You should not be working for a government that played games talking about pedophiles, and then we find out that they marrying children. You shouldn't even be a police officer anymore. You shouldn't even be a police officer. And the first thing you're going to say, oh, I got to provide for my family. That is not an option to work for a country, a government, and work in a government position that in the government is marrying children in 44 states. That's not an option. It's not an option to me. I will never work in any government position. It's not an option to me. So why is it an option to you? Because you have no honor. You put money before honor. That's what you did. That's what police are doing. And listen, you need to find another way to provide money for your children. How can you be law enforcement and lock up pedophiles when they marrying children? Explain how that works, bro. You know how it works? Because you got to provide for your children. That's pedophile money to me. That's pedophile money to me. It spoils a war when I get it. For you working, you enforcing laws for them. You're locking up people for the government. You're working for them. How you working for them and they marrying children? How can you lock up a pedophile when they're marrying children by laws? When they passed a new child marriage law 3 years ago. Yeah, you think somebody hyped me up? Who hyped me up? God hyped me up, buddy. And black people didn't hype me up. They sure didn't do it. Oh, you think they put a battery in my back, don't you? Who you think put a battery in my back, buddy? Point them out. Point them out. Point out my superiors. Point out my masters. Point out my OGs. Point out who you think put a battery in my back, buddy. I was born with a battery in my back against you. I was born that way. I was born with a battery in my back, big baby. Yeah, ain't no black people hype me up. How they hype me up and they ain't more hyper than me? Make it make sense. They ain't on none of my level, so how they hype me up? Come on, man. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense, man. I'm out here on my own, doing my own thing. That's why I don't want nobody to try to act like they affiliated. How you affiliated and you ain't putting in the work that I put in? Yeah, this is just like the streets, bro. You ain't putting in no work. How you affiliated with me? You ain't doing what I'm doing. I'm not talking about riding around. We play the same position of exposing the government of marrying children. We all play that position. Yeah. You so focused on formats, you getting stupid. Where we all play our different position. We all play in this position. If you're affiliated with me, we all play in this position. You ain't gonna sit up and let me do all the work and then talk about you affiliated. You gonna let me say all the talking, do all the talking, and then you sit back quietly talk about you affiliated. Nah. Only way you affiliated with me, big baby, is if you doing the work and you putting in the work. You're not going to be a sucker having the luxury of talking about you affiliated with me and you riding with me. You ain't riding with me. You ain't putting no work in. That's just like the streets. How you going to be a Crip talking about you, you affiliated, you banging and everything, and you ain't out here putting no work in. It's not somebody going to pull your card eventually. Eventually, somebody's going to say, you ain't putting in no work, bro. You don't need to even be over here on the set. Why are you over here? I feel the same way. Why is they over here? They ain't putting in no work. It's all for the show, man. Them are fame sluts. That's what I call them. Fame sluts. Sitting up, you're here for the fame, just like these fanatical Americans. Fanatic about everything. Fanatic about sports. Fanatic about food. Fanatic about politicians. Fanatic about this. Fanatic about sports. Fanatic about everything. Fanatic about music, fanatic about musicians and artists, and you're fanatics about everything. It's no different. It's no different when it comes to this. You're fanatics. That's all you are. And I don't need no fans. I don't need no fanatics. I don't need no fanatics around me, right? That's what you need to understand. I don't need no fans. I need people to put in the same work that I put in. If you ain't putting in the same work that I put in, then please, man, you'll wait. Come on, man. Who intelligence are you insulting here? Who intelligence are you insulting here? You're not putting in the work. You sitting around ignorant, talking about, this and that, and that. Yeah, he did. Like, look, you need to shut up, bro. You listen. It's good for you that you stay out my way, okay, and keep my likeness. Whether you're talking good or bad, keep my likeness out your mouth. You understand? And that goes for people at the delis, running their mouth, talking stuff they don't know. You ain't never been around me. You ain't never seen me do nothing. Let's keep it on the street level, on that level. You ain't never seen me do nothing, right? You need to stay out. You need to keep my likeness out your mouth, bro. That's real. You need to keep my likeness out your mouth. Because you're a boondocks looking sucker. You understand me? You're a boondocks looking sucker. When I'm nationwide, from California to coast to coast, with respect added to it, and you a boondocks cartoon fag. And when I say that, I don't mean gay. I mean you a spineless punk, street punk to me. Stay working at the delis and stay out my way. You understand me? Because that's all you are, is a deli working boondock looking sucker. Don't you ever think you can compare to me. Don't you ever speak of my likeness. Don't you ever speak of my likeness. I put in work that you could not even imagine. You can't even imagine the work I put in. You don't even deserve to even talk about my likeness. Nah, this is dealing with rank. This is not being prideful. This is not being arrogant. This is talking about rank and qualification and disqualification. These suckers do not qualify to speak on me. Stick to the bread and the cheese and the meat at the deli, bro. Stick to working the cash registers at the delis. Stick to that part, buddy. Stick to that. Obviously, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Obviously, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Look at it for what it is. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Stick to that. Because too many people think this is a game, and listen, when it turns up and everybody started to get smashed on, don't get mad at me. Because after all, you've evolved yourself with somebody you don't even know. Let's keep it 100. Besides the goofiness of your community, let's keep it a buck. You play with somebody you don't know. You play with something that you don't know about. You didn't see me do nothing, right? All of that right there. That's it. That's it. And you can act popular and you can be popular. But that same principle applies. It applies. Was you there? You see me do anything? Do you know me? Okay, then. That applies. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care how big and bad you think you are. That applies to anybody. You don't sit up and talk, you don't know me? You see me do anything? Okay, then. That applies to all of y'all. And that's it. And that's over. And you should feel like a cornball anyway. Talking about stuff you ain't even seen. How you feel real doing that? How you feel like a real one doing that? Oh, because it's a conspiracy? Hey, because y'all doing the yapping and acting like you preying on me and victimizing me. Oh, you think that makes you real? How it make you real when you ain't seen nothing? How it make it real? How it makes you real or a real one when you don't have no evidence or you don't see nothing? See, that's what I'm saying. That's how you know who's street people and who not. Because street people ain't getting involved in nothing that ain't got no evidence. If they ain't got no evidence, street people ain't involved, suckers. That's how I know I'm dealing with suckers. Because ain't no evidence. It ain't no real ones, ain't no real street soldiers messing with nothing, with no evidence, because they don't want to be done like that themselves. They ain't affiliating with nothing like that because they thinking, that could be me. Why I'm affiliating myself with something? They ain't seen nothing. They ain't see this person do nothing. All they going by is testimony. Nah, bro. We ain't going by testimonies. These days, anybody can testify. Anybody can make up testimonies. I want evidence. I want audio. I want video. That's what I want. I want to see audio, video, something from the hospital. You claim to be raped. I want to see something from the hospital. I want to see the doctor say you've been raped. Yeah, that part. I want to see the doctor say something happened to you sexually. That's what we want to see. And if we don't see that, guess what, man? Guess what? We go by the same principles, the way of thinking that the streets do. We ain't trying to hear that, bro. Like if you ain't got no evidence, you ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing from the hospital, you ain't got nothing at all, and you think we finna ride with that? We think we finna slide with that? Nah, bro. Because it's bad for everybody. If that changes the standard of things for everybody. If we start doing that, then shoot, they could pick out somebody they don't like and do it again with somebody else. That's why we don't let that happen. Because they could do it with somebody else. They can do it with you. They can do it with your children. They can do it with your family. How you know? How you know they can't? They can do the same thing and how your family out here running around. The only difference is I got God on my side. You see what's happening. They got COVID-19 on them. They're getting smashed on. They got all kind of stuff. They're getting smashed. Oh, it's about to turn up even more. Wait till the end of this year. Wait till it's all done and said and done. Oh, you think it's going to just go smooth sailing like this all year? Oh, you think it's going to be like this all year? You should know better than that. Oh, it's a lot of surprises coming this year. You're going to lose a lot of people. You're going to lose celebrities. You're going to lose a lot of stuff, man. I'm telling you, that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. You know the rules of the jungle. And if I'm on the right side of the rules of the jungle, you know it's only a matter of time for they get smashed on. It's just a matter of time, bruh. That's all it is. In all actuality, it's just a matter of time. That's all it is. It's just a matter of time. Ain't no complications going on. We ain't vacillating and we ain't fluctuating. We on the same stuff we on every day. I ain't vacillating, I ain't fluctuating. We on the same thing. All we got to do is hold the position, and it's just a matter of time. You know the rules of the jungle. You break the principles, it's coming. You reap what you sow. What goes around, come around. We all know that. So if that's the principle, you know it's coming. Who you think it's coming for? Me? A man that's minding my business in my apartment with a woman, with a fully grown woman, talking about 44 states with child marriage, what they doing. I'm laying up with a real woman while they laying down with real kids. It's just a matter of time for the government get smashed on, man. It's just a matter of time. We got them on technicalities. We don't listen. They'll sit up and tell you, well, everybody's not doing it, and who cares if everybody's doing it? It's the fact that you passed the laws. That's what we talk about. We don't care how many numbers of people are doing it. We don't care if it's 1 million people doing it. We don't care if it's 20 people doing it. It's the fact that the government has a standard of marrying children. You can't play no Jedi mind tricks with me. We don't care how many people doing it. We care about you releasing the law to do it in the first place. That's what keeps you from being lawmakers. That's what shut down your government from being sufficient for passing laws for us as a community. You're not sufficient. You're not adequate. You're inadequate. You know, come on. Let's be 100. Everybody's talking about all this child stuff and they got child marriage. Ah, yeah, come on. I said it just like I needed to say it. Kamala Harris, your vice president, she was a prosecutor, for crying out loud. This woman worked in the courts as a prosecutor. Criminals know what a prosecutor is. She was a prosecutor, prosecuting cases on child sexual assault. How she get in the White House and has nothing to do with the child marriage situation? She ain't working on none of that. And see, let's be 100. Let me separate myself from all these civilians. Because, see, real felons, let me tell you something about real thugs and real felons. As soon as they hear this about 44 states with child marriage, it's on and popping, buddy. It's on and popping. That's how I know you ain't no thug. That's how I know you ain't no gangster. That's how I know. You know how I know? Because as soon as I told you 44 states got child marriage, you would have been done with America. Cornball fools are the only ones sitting around trying to make it better. Cornball fools that never been real a day in their life. Them the ones that sitting up trying to split hairs about it. Ain't no criminals that will smash on pedophiles in prison trying to differentiate or trying to split hairs about 44 states with child marriage. Ain't no real criminals in prison that would kill pedophiles in prison sitting up trying to get the benefit of the doubt of why the American government has 44 states with child marriage. All we need is the criminals. All we need, ironically, all we need is the felons. That's all we need. We don't need these civilians. See how they get? They'll look for a certain style of pedophile, but when we tell them that the government is marrying children, then we don't hear nothing, do we? We hear crickets. Hear the crickets? We don't hear nothing but crickets. We don't hear nothing but crickets. We don't hear nothing but crickets. And that's how I know you a soft cupcake ready for the eating. I'm talking to the felons. I'm talking to the real gangsters and thugs, not these street punks. I'm talking about people that's in prison right now doing push-ups, ready to smash on a pedophile. Ready. Doing their push-ups this morning. Right now doing their push-ups. Ready to smash on any pedophile. Let's talk to them while they doing their workouts. Ready. Getting that blood flowing. Getting that blood flowing in the upper chest area. Hey, let's talk to somebody doing their chest workout today. Let's talk to somebody doing their chest workout today. In prison. You know, every day. So for real people that work out, you know, you got arm days, you got leg days, you know, you got the abs, you know, you got arm days. Let's talk to somebody doing their chest days today. Let's talk to somebody who chest days today. They got 44 states with child marriage in America right now, buddy. Ain't no felons gonna hold no straight face with that. That's how I know y'all soft. That's how I know y'all wannabes. That's how I know you ain't on my level. Ain't no, like, felons will be just like I am. They probably be doing videos from prison. Talking about the American government done lock me up, and here they are with 44 states with child marriage. They done lock me up for whatever I do. I don't care what I do. I don't obey none of it. I might have been, I'm talking about for a felon, I might have been selling drugs. I don't care what I was doing. Why should I be locked up by a country that's marrying children? Huh? I shouldn't have to obey none of it. That's why anarchy is coming. Because when people find out this particular information, they're going to feel the need to obey none of the law. Why should you obey any of it? These are pedophiles, by the way. These are people that mess with children. Why should you care about what they think about anything? Like at all, man. Why should you care? Why? Why should you obey any of it? You shouldn't obey none of it. Yeah, you ain't victimizing me. I'm Victor. I got the best satisfaction every day knowing you marrying children. You could put me on the streets and I'm still happy. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm still happy knowing you're marrying children. I'm still victorious knowing you are child molesters. You know how sweet this is? You know how sweet this victory is? Listen, that's another thing you can't walk in my shoes and experience. This victory is so sweet. These people are out here playing games and we find out they marrying children. Man, this victory is so sweet, bro. All of y'all, man, I can add it to everybody. All these rappers and singers and famous people, y'all been making all these movies and music and all of this stuff you've been doing. Meanwhile, they got 44 states with child marriage in your country. You know how sweet that victory is, man? You know how sweet that is, bro? That's beyond pleasure that you've experienced. That's beyond pleasure that you can experience, buddy. A woman can't make you feel that, buddy. No pun intended, but a woman can't make you feel that. They got 44 states with child marriage, and they sit around and call everybody else pedophiles, and we found out that they marrying children right here in the country, in America. And the last child marriage law they passed was 3 years ago. Just in case you think these laws aren't relevant, they just passed a new child marriage law 3 years ago. I can't make this up. Man, a woman can't even bring you that type of satisfaction when they've been playing with you. No pun intended. You've been playing with me, and no woman can bring that kind of satisfaction to know that you're the one doing it. I can't make it up. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you say it. You have child marriage laws, period. You can't bewitch a black man. You can't play with my mind. You can go play with these weak people's minds. You can't play with my mind. You got child marriage, you lose. Simple as that. Simple as that, bruh. And on the technicality that you've been sitting around calling everybody else that, and that's been you. That's what really make you lose. That's the nail in the coffin. It would have been one thing if you was doing that, but not really messing with nobody. The fatal cocktail is you messing with people, but you got child marriage your damn self. Yeah, how does that work, bro? Man, that's a fatal cocktail. That's how it works. That's how it works. It's a fatal cocktail. It's a fatal cocktail. When you up here with child marriage, playing around other people, calling them pedophiles. I don't care who it is in your community. I don't care who it is. As long as they're Americans, it's your liability. Boom. It's the liability of your whole community. Well, everybody gonna suffer for it. So you should have been handled them. You so stupid. You sit back and talk about, oh, well, that ain't us. Well, you're gonna catch the liability for it. You should have knew that, idiot. You think God's gonna let these people sit around and play games and you sit back and watch? You should have knew better than that. And you should have knew if it wasn't that you was watching, you should have knew that if it was enough people doing it, that you always going to catch the liability. Oh, you thought you wouldn't catch the liability, and there's a lot of people doing that? Man, come on, man. That's why I see in the Bible times, they checked their nation and made sure there was no sin in their community because it brought repercussions on everybody. And that's why I got to do a video about that. Because you sit back and talk about, well, it ain't everybody. It wasn't all of us. Well, do you wait for the whole police community to beat down all black people before you wanted to go? So you gonna wait for them to? Would you wait for the police to beat down all black people and shoot all black people before you hold them to a liability? Till you hold them to a fatal liability? Would you wait for all the police to beat down all black people? Would you wait for them to shoot all black people? Well, they ain't shooting all black people, so they can continue to do what they do. They're not shooting all black people, so the police can continue to be on the beat. You ain't waiting for the police to kill everybody. Hallelujah. You're not waiting for the police to kill everybody. I bet you won't. I bet you these black people won't.